Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this video breakdown, we're going to take a look at a route combination that's pretty effective against a lot of the match coverages that you'll find in Madden 26. The play that we're going to use for this video breakdown as far as attacking some of these match coverages that you'll find in Madden 26 is called Gun Tray Y-Flex Verticals. And this particular play by default is pretty effective without having to make any adjustments at all. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and make a couple hot routes here. I'm going to show you what I like to do to attack this type of coverage. So the first one we're going to run this against is nickel 2-4 cover 3 match. I want to show you how this one works and show you how effective this play can be by making these couple hot route adjustments. So let's go ahead and start things off here and taking a look at. So first we're going to hot route this outside receiver here on a curl route, and then we're going to extend it about 4 times. Should be about 25 yards down the field as you look at it. So let's take a look at it there. You can see on your screen that I hot routed him roughly, as I said, about, we look at that, this is about 25 yards. So as he goes down the field here, what he's going to do is he's going to run this curl route. Now, something that you're going to see at the end of this, when I throw this ball to him, I'm actually going to come back and I'm actually going to do kind of what I like to call basically a generic version of the rocket catch, or, you know, kind of a poor man's rocket catch. But I'll show it to you here later in the video breakdown how you can do that. But right there you can see on your screen that I'm going to have him coming back, and I'm going to make that throw as he comes back. Now this is against this coverage because he's going to be pretty much open outside of one defender covering him. Now as far as the rest of it goes, we're going to hot route this next guy, which is going to be the middle slot receiver on an out route, such as you see. So I went ahead and hot routed him on an out route. Now the reason for that is, what I want him to do here is I want him to draw, let me clear that telestrator there. I want him to draw this guy right here away, make sure he doesn't drop back. I don't want him going anywhere near where the outside receiver is running that curl route. So he's going to go in this direction here with cover 3 match. This guy's going to pick him up somewhere in that area there as he goes towards the outside. The next receiver that we want to hot route is actually going to be the running back. Now he's lined up in the backfield. Let's go ahead and continue on this. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave him in the pass block. Now the reason we want to do that with him is we're going to get a 6-man pass protection scheme. With this particular routes that we're running here, these are some deeper routes. Actually, we got 2 routes that are going to be underneath, but we got those 2 further routes that are going down the field. We need enough time to be able to make that throw to that curl route or possibly that deep crossing route. So that's the reason I want to leave the running back in the stay in the pass block. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and run this play, and I'm going to show you how effective it is. All right, I'm going to go ahead and run the play here. Just watch and look deep down the field as I make this throw, and I come back and I take control of him and make that kind of that rocket catch, kind of a poor man's rocket catch, if you will. That's the idea of this. So he's going to get open eventually as he's coming down there. So I'm going to slow this down a little bit because I want you guys to watch a couple things that are going on here. Right about here, I want to point out something to you as you're looking at it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this side over here. Now, I talked about getting this guy to run this out route right here. So he's running this out route into this direction here. If you look at it, he's going to take away this defender right here. So this defender isn't going to be dropping back since he's in match coverage. He's got to cover that guy. So that's the key right there. Now, as we continue deep down the field, what I'm looking for is to get this one-on-one matchup. Since this is a match coverage, basically it's more or less man. I mean, it's a form of man in a sense. You got that one guy covering him. So what's going to happen here is when I get deep down the field, when that receiver gets deep down the field, I'm going to make this throw. And as you watch, you're going to see that I kind of throw it up in the air, kind of a tap. Right there, I kind of just tap it and I kind of just throw it up. And then I'll take control of this receiver. And what this is going to allow me to do is I'm throwing this. So I'm throwing it right here, right? I'm throwing the ball towards him. And then what I'm hoping for, as he comes back, I should be able to take control of him right there. Now I'm going to do that aggressive catch. And right there, I do the aggressive catch. And that allows me to make that grab. So it's kind of like the old rocket catch that a lot of us, especially as old timers who've been playing this game forever, used to do way back in the day. You can still do it in the game. I don't know if it's quite as effective as it used to be, but I will say this, with the deep curl routes, by you using the stem and able to extend them longer, it's a hell of a lot easier than it used to be, that I can remember, to be able to do this, because you don't really have to do anything. When they go all the way deep, they come back, they curl, and then you end up jumping up like I'm doing right there and make that catch. And right there, I end up making the catch, and then I pick up roughly, about 20, 25 yards on that. So that's something you can do that's going to allow you to attack nickel 2-4 cover 3 match. You can get that one-on-one on the outside. Now, I will say you are going to look for some type of receiver who can make that type of catch. In this case, I've got Higgins out there on the outside out there. So you're looking for somebody who can get up there, make a spectacular catch, and bring it in. Plus, having a good quarterback such as Burrow who can make that deep throw helps out a lot too as well. All right, what I want to do next is we're going to take a look at another defensive play that you can run this against. and it's just as effective. I'm going to show it to you here. All right, this time I'm going to run this play against the nickel 2-4 cover 4 quarters. Now this is also match coverage, and this play is still going to be effective. The only difference is the outside receiver Higgins isn't going to be open on that deep curl route, so he's going to actually be covered because he's going to have, not only is he going to have the defender that's covering him on the outside, his corner here, he's also going to have the free safety come over to help him out, so he's not going to be open. However, this guy to the inside, which is going to be lined up right here, who's running this deep crossing route, you're going to see how wide open he really gets with this particular setup I'm showing. So again, this is against the nickel 2-4 cover 4 quarters. Now you can see I've already got the play already set up. Let's go ahead and run through it and take a look at it, and you'll see what I mean as far as getting him wide open. So right there, if you wait long enough, look how open he gets where you can make this throw. So we end up picking up a really nice gain with this play, and that's against this particular coverage. So if you see it's cover 4, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to just go ahead and look for the other receiver. If you don't, if it's cover 3 and you see one of the safeties drop over the deep middle, or it's a pre-read that you have before the ball snap, then you're going to want to look through the outside receiver. In this case, it's Higgins. Otherwise, you're going to want to dump it into the inside and look through the crossing route, the deep crossing route. So let's run it just again and just take a look at this kind of a step-by-step here. So first thing I want to do here is look at a couple things. Now, regardless of what defense they're running, if for some reason you get a lot of pressure on you and you don't have enough time to wait and make that throw, you always have the option to throw to the tight end running the shallow drag route or crossing route, whatever you want to call it, coming across here. He's going to be open as he comes across right there. So he's going to be your first option if you feel like you're getting pressured. Now, as you can look right here, over towards the left is what I was talking about earlier. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. These two defenders right here, as you look at it, are both going to be covering the outside receiver. Higgins is not open, so you can see that right there. So that's not an option. So what you got to do is, then you got to, as you're reading this, and you see this guy not open, then you're going to have to come back. Then you're going to have to come back over the middle and look for another receiver. In this case, you can look for the other receiver coming across on that deep crossing route, such as what I'm showing on your screen right there. So let's keep going on there as you look at it. Then I just end up throwing a high bullet pass over the top, complete it, and end up going in for a score. The reason for that is, if you go back one more time, is that guy ends up gets ahead of that over the top of that defender that's covering him. Now, if you go back and rewind this just a little bit, let's rewind this a little bit because I want you guys to watch one last thing here as I go through here. Watch this right here as I'm going to keep rewinding a little bit more. Okay, right about there, you notice this guy right here is actually coming across. Now, we go ahead and zoom in here. If we zoom in, you'll see he's kind of going across a little bit. He's going towards this direction. As you look, he's going in this direction, right? Well, watch what happens once the slot receiver running that crossing route goes the other direction. He picks him up, but by the time he picks him up, he's trailing too far behind to try to even get to that. And that makes it real easy for me to make this throw, such as you're seeing on your screen. So I'm just going to make this throw into that area there. As you look at, let me do this one right here as far as the telestrator. I'm going to make this throw deep down the field in that area there, and then we're going to complete it for a nice gain, such as you see on your screen right there. So let's keep going through that one. So right there, I make the catch, and I'm going in for a score. So this particular play with the route combination I'm showing definitely works well against the nickel 2-4 cover 3 match and the cover 4 quarters out of the nickel 2-4. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment for more Madden guides, strategy, and tips content. See you in the next video.